Chamber of Commerce, immediate past Florida State parliamentarian of the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, board member for CEO Chicks Institute for Aspiring Teen Entrepreneurs, and as an advocate against human sex trafficking. That's just 5 things? Okay, I just want, those are a lot of things, and they're big, you all. Her philosophy on life is there's absolutely no obstacles that we cannot overcome due to God's desire to bless and empower us beyond what we could ever imagine or think. Ephesians 3:19 through 20. Are you all ready for a purpose-led, empowering, motivating woman to come up here? Are you all ready? Then give it up for Schellie Look at her go. Look at her go. She is fly, beautiful. She has got it going on. She is a wife, mother, woman of God, and high-level boss chick, CEO and co-owner of 3 thriving community mental health centers. When she speaks, people listen because she has it all together. I'm talking about red bottom heels together. Look as she rides lovely in that midnight blue cream leather interior Cadillac Escalade. Watch as she pulls into her driveway to her home, a 2-story home on a lake. I invite you to look at her go. Look at her. A single, struggling mother. Her children cry out for her love and attention. Her home is well furnished and empty at the same time. She cries uncontrollably at the side of her bed, trying to figure out what is she being punished for. She often cries out to a God she believes has forgotten about her. She is confined to her thoughts and incarcerated, imprisoned by her own ambition. There is no achievement great enough. The worst part of her day is waking up in the morning. And the highlight of her day is flirting and just allowing herself to be fascinated by the idea of what would this life be like without me in it. I was the woman in the first scenario, and I was the woman in the second scenario every single day, all in the same day. You see, my work ethic invited a level of high demand on my time and energy. And I was not intentional about refueling, although I was serving everything I had to this world. And I had the nerve to call it purpose and resilience. I was going at 100 each and every day, not stopping for air until one day I was getting ready to keynote at a conference. And I had broken night to prepare. How many know about those broken nights, right? And it was time for me to go. My daughter was on the other side of the home, in our home, and we were the only ones there. And it was ready for me to go to this conference and continue to act like I had it all together. I reached down to pick up an empty suitcase, and as soon as I did that, I felt a knife stab me right in the middle of my chest. I tried to cry out for my daughter, but I couldn't find the air to do so. And as soon as I was able to take one step, I felt that same knife stab me in the back. I walked over to the bed and I sat on the side, and I know you're thinking that the next move would have been me calling 911. But in that moment, I can hear the echo of my grandmother, hear the echo of my mom saying, "Me su." That's a Creole saying, Haitian Creole. Put some woman on you. And so I put some woman on me because I made a commitment to Keynote, and I was gonna be there through hell or high water. And I sat there and I waited for the pain to go away. I got in my car, I drove to the conference. And I spoke for 2 hours. And that was my last memory. My next memory was in an ambulance, and I heard 30-year-old. I was like 40 by the time. I was like, hello, black don't. 30-year-old African-American woman, heart attack, and just like that, everything that meant so much to me, all the sacrifices that I had made, including my marriage, meant absolutely nothing, and everything that I most neglected meant everything to me. My faith, my children, my family, my peace, my mental health, my physical health. That started a 3-year journey to my healing. God was not going to allow me to continue to try to lead people to destinations I had not yet arrived. It was very clear what I would do is I would get on a microphone like many motivational, transformational speakers preaching about destinations they have not yet arrived. And you know what happens? You get a full room, you get people motivated, but no one will transform. There is no way to pour from an empty cup. So my 3-year journey of healing began. There are 3 situations, 3 general situations that cause and promote change. Do you want to know what those 3 things are? The first situation that promotes change is when it hurts so much you have to change. The second is when you learn so much you want to change. And the third is when you have been given so much you are able to change. Unfortunately, most of us fall in that first category where it has to hurt so much you have no choice but to change. And in this 3-year journey, I set out to learning everything I needed to learn about every ailment. And in that learning, it inspired me. It caused me to want to change. See, influence and inspiration are 2 different things. You could be unintentionally influential. Because I have a following, I'm influential. Because I'm a horrible person, I'm influential. Because I am a leader, I am influential. Some of us are lost in admiration. It's because you're not seeking inspiration. Inspiration is a spark on the inside of you that causes you to not be able to sleep until you could measure the difference. The difference between who you were yesterday and who you were today. You should look, each and every one of you, to be influential and inspirational, because that's where true change happens. And so I started to learn about all those ailments. High achieving perfectionism, depression, suppressed anxiety, all of the traumas, all of those learned lessons that caused me to feel that marriage was completely unsafe. And I had to learn, and I had to learn. And in that learning process, I realized that it is not okay. We are here today because it is not okay. I have a sorority sister that transitioned on Thursday morning. She has a 4-year-old son. And in her passing, just a couple of days ago, we learned that she was battling with alcoholism for over 10 years. And none of us knew. She lost her mom, couldn't handle the pressure, and drank herself to her passing.
Lord.
And if statistics are correct, if the numbers are correct, Dr. Janie, that means that some of you right in this room are hurting just the same. So it is not okay. It is not okay to normalize abnormalities. Do you know how long it took me to learn that it is not okay to be married with children outside of that marital unit? But because that's how I was raised, because that is all that I saw, guess what I accepted? It is not okay to not be able to get 8 hours of uninterrupted rest. And I know some of you are saying, well, I work so hard and I'm so busy. Understand that your wellness is never seasonal. That's number one. Your wellness is never seasonal.
That's good.
And for some of you, truth be told, even if you had the opportunity to sleep for 8 hours, you would not be able to. I work with a financial advisor that told me I get my best ideas in the middle of the night. I literally sleep with a notebook under my pillow, and he'll pull that notebook out and start taking notes. Do you understand that that is not normal? When you are supposed to be at rest, when your laptop is supposed to be rebooting, and now you have these ideas, that can be a symptom of anxiety. It is not okay to live outside of your purpose. It is not okay. And for those of you who think that purpose does not pay the bill, allow me this moment to call the devil a liar. Your purpose will pay for your bills, because God's will, God's bill. God's will, God's bill. God's will, God's bill. It is not okay to operate outside of why you were created to be here. That is the definition of abuse. Let me explain to you, because Dr. Miles does it so well. This chair right here, it was created and designed for people to sit on. It was created and designed to be able to support a certain amount of pounds. So if I decided to go ahead and stand on that chair to change the light bulb, I have just abused the purpose of this chair. See, you cannot protect yourself if you don't know your purpose, because in your purpose, it's easy to say no. In your purpose, it's easy to say yes. Even when you want to say no, you have to know your purpose to protect yourself from being misused. Yes. Your purpose. It is not okay to fear things, to protest things, to avoid things that are bound to happen. Let me say that again. Someone needs to hear this. It is not okay to fear, avoid, or protest things that are bound to happen. We are all in this life together. People, LaShonda, will betray you. People will not be there for you. There are going to be things that you expect that just don't necessarily happen the way you expected it. There are going to be life outcomes that land right on your lap that you did not deserve. If we continue to operate in a state of distress because of things that are bound to happen in life, we will continue to not be well. It is not okay. It is not okay to not have dominion, authority over your thoughts. Understand this connection. Thoughts charge, like a charger, like a phone charger. Your thoughts charge your emotions, and your emotions influence how you choose. So if you want to change how you choose, you have to change how you think. And if you do not have control over your thoughts, you don't have control over your destiny. Because your destiny is aligned and rooted in your capacity to change. So when you say you can't stop thoughts, you can't stop thinking that way, understand that you are fully resourced to be able to reframe your thoughts. You can take an old, ugly, white turning yellow picture and put it in a nice frame and make it look like $1 million piece. Why? The same broken down photo reframed, and it looks beautiful. We have the capacity to do that with our thoughts. Some of us have stinky, rotten thoughts. Our thoughts create our mindset. Yeah. Mindset is the quality of your thoughts. Have you ever bought raw meat, opened the packet and knew that it was spoiled? That's low quality, low grade meat. And some of us, the suffering that you have been dealing with, it ties back to your stinky, low quality, low grade thoughts. Your thoughts have to be able to handle your capacity. Your thoughts have to be able to handle the calling on your life. It's like that paper towel commercial where they wet the paper towel and they put a dozen eggs on the paper towel, and they show you how some paper towels just open up and the eggs come crushing down, but here comes Bounty. Put that dozen of eggs on it, put another dozen of eggs on it, put another dozen of eggs on it, and it does not crack. Your thoughts have to be able to carry the call on your life. And some of your thoughts are so low grade. How can you operate in what God called you to do and everything that you were destined, that you were wired and resourced to do if you don't believe in yourself?
That's good. That's good.
It is not okay to be complacent with the lies that you tell yourself. Some of us have a whole closet of clothes we can't fit in because of lies you told yourself.
There's that.
I'm gonna get back there. Get back there. Take your personal. I'm gonna get back there. 44.
The reason.
That's personal. That's personal.
Don't be mad. We don't need refunds either. You're a procrastinator because you actually believe you'll do it tomorrow.
Nah. It's good.
It is not okay. It is not okay to not be self-aware. Everybody knows that your emotional breath stinks.
There you go.
Everybody knows you're unhappy. You're not fooling anybody. Everybody knows that your attitude is not okay. We can see it. There's no way to hide hurt. But everybody else knows but you. Take this note. I challenge each and every one of you within the sound of my voice to ask the most honest people in your life this next question. Do you think I'm well? And be ready to respond to what they tell you. It is not okay to be mostly unhappy. The people that are mostly unhappy don't even know that they are unhappy. You are mostly unhappy. Oh, I'm only unhappy around my cycle. Give me a second, men. I just need to talk to these ladies for a second. So let me get this right. So 2 weeks before your cycle, you're upset and agitated. You're agitated throughout the cycle, and a couple of days you need to kind of get over the agitation from the 2 weeks and 3. So you're happy 1 week out of the month. Some of us don't even realize that you're mostly unhappy. Do you know that it's not okay to wake up angry? Some of you wake up angry, depressed, and empty at the start of your day. It is not okay. It is not okay to be in relationships where you are giving, understanding, and accepting. See, I'm a psychotherapist, so I understood in my relationships, I understood it's not his fault. He was abandoned by his dad. It's not his fault. He was abandoned by his mom. Oh, it's not her fault. She has self-esteem You become the non-preferred beneficiary of somebody's emotional baggage. It is not okay. It is not okay to isolate. Well, I'm an introvert. Introversion doesn't mean that you are isolated from the rest of the world.
It's a hermit.
Wow.
It just means that the way that you refuel
Yes.
is by yourself.
There we go.
But it doesn't mean that you do life by yourself. That's depression, that's social anxiety, that's unresolved trauma. It's time to get healed. It is not okay to use performance as the yardstick that you measure your value in. Some of us are product of performance-based parenting. The only time we heard from our parents is when we did something good, Joanna. And so we understood that I find value in myself when my performance is at a certain level. But you have to understand we are humans and we have imperfections. We're not always going to hit the mark. It is not okay to have willpower that cannot overpower. What your willpower cannot overpower is addiction. I heard someone once say, well, everybody is addicted to something that is not the truth. So when your willpower cannot overpower the porn, that is addiction. When your willpower cannot overpower the masturbation, that is addiction. When your willpower cannot overpower the alcohol, the weed, the crack, the cocaine, that is addiction. Let's call it what it is. And it is not okay. It is not okay to talk to yourself the way that you do. 80% of what we do, 80% of how we move, over 80% of how we decide is fueled by our subconscious minds. That means the things that we do in our consciousness is only 10 to 12% of your brain power. What is wrong with that? I'm going to tell you why. There's a problem with that. Because in your subconscious is where your emotional injury resides. Those learned lessons, remember all the things that you said, I'll never do? And you end up doing it, it's because you saw it, and that's one of the strongest learning mechanisms, what you see. And so when you don't get healed, you will allow your subconscious to have you acting like a fool when you are in conflict. There are 3 situations that will always reveal whether you are well or not well. The way in which you parent, the way in which you show up in your relationships, and the way that you show up in crisis. Yes. Have you ever seen a strong person absolutely melt and disappear in crisis? Your symptomology is not okay. I've heard of people that have all these routines. I have to wash my hands. I have to be in bed at a certain time. My husband has to give me 40 minutes to decompress from my anxiety before I become intimate. These are things that are not okay. You've just learned to cope through these very meticulous routines, but you're not living. Because life is not that meticulous. And so, why don't you deal with the root cause? And get healed from that anxiety, get healed from those feelings of sadness that continue to overpower you. It is not okay to just deal with your symptomology because there's help for it. Your delusions, those shadows that you see in your peripheral vision, those are called visual hallucinations. Those whispers that you hear, they're auditory hallucinations. When you sit back and you have lost all motivation for the things that you love and you tell people, it's just because I'm stressed, it's because I'm overwhelmed. No, it's depression. We have to stop normalizing our symptoms. The physical ailments in your body that have no diagnosis. How many of you have ever felt pain and couldn't get a diagnosis? Understand that your unresolved emotional injury will find a way to the surface. It'll be in your hairline. It will be in your menstrual cycle. It will be in your ability to perform, men and women, sexually as well. Your inability to focus and concentrate. Oh, they told me I have ADHD. No, you have not dealt with the miscarriage. You haven't dealt with the rape. You haven't dealt With the adultery, it is not okay to live a lie. Your mask can only get heavier and heavier and heavier. There is a corporate activity that I do. And in this corporate activity, what I do is I ask the people in the room, would you rather be deaf or blind? Would you rather have no arms or no legs? And we go on and on, but the very last question is this. Would you rather know the truth and live a life of disappointment, or would you rather live a lie and be blissfully happy? What do you think most of the room goes to? They rather live a lie and be blissfully happy. It's not okay to need certainty to move forward.
Right.
Let me say that again. It is not okay to need certainty before moving forward. It is not okay to harbor anger, resentment, and forgiveness and unforgiveness toward others. It's not okay to be the same you were yesterday. If you are not able to tell me how you changed from January, that's a problem.
Wow.
We're in April. If you still think like how you thought in 8th grade, that's a problem. So every attractive woman is conceited? You still think that way? Oh, you're intimidating. Am I intimidating or are you intimidated? It is not okay to lack resilience. Maribel Rodriguez says that resilience is bouncing back quickly. Some of you are still trying to bounce back from stuff that happened in 2000. It's time. If you heard something that you struggle with right now, I want you to stand up. And I want you to do this. This is a vulnerability exercise because you can't heal without vulnerability. You cannot heal without vulnerability. I want you to find someone in this room that you don't know. And I want you to tell them 2 things that have to change right away. And the person who is listening, I want you to say, you got this, and be very specific. So if it's someone that says, I haven't been able to lose weight in years. I have an emotional eating disorder. And I eat and eat emotionally, and that's my thing. That has to change right away. Your response will be, sis, brother, you got this. You'll overcome that. Words are powerful. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to do it. Go ahead and find that person you do not know and tell them that one thing that has to change. 1 or 2 things that have to change right away.
I need to introduce myself to y'all.
You got this. You definitely got this because it's in your mind. It's gonna happen slowly but surely, right? And the way you spoke with us this morning, as you were
look at your agenda first.
desire to help people, right? There's always sometimes not anymore more important, but this is my understanding of yourself, right? I choose to look
And I don't always realize it until after. And then I'm like, look at my
I want to expression workshop, so I struggle with and recognize that I should be what I could. Yes. Right. So why thank you.
What I've tried to do now is I'll look at my week, and I'll look at my day specifically, and I'll look at my things where I have to change that day, and if there's too many things already on that day that I know, like now, I've learned I can have,
Right, and
then I'll be like, Yeah, like if I have to lead it, now if I gotta be there, yeah. But if I like, no, I'm talking, I gotta prep for all of it, like I had like 4 speaking engagements in 1 week one time, and it was exhausting to do. I mean, writing keynotes and
You're right.
so I had
You're right. You're right.
everywhere. I was by the end of the week, I was like,
You're right. You're right. Exactly.
what? Don't call me.
And
2 more minutes.
exercise journey.
Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel it.
Just working on that, you've been able to be happy with the wife.
Have you lost weight or do you maintain your weight?
I'm gaining.
Okay.
Yeah. And you have to actually listen. That's the hard part. That's big. That's big. You got yeah, but everything. Like I'm not even a
Give a hug, a high five. Yeah. And I am inviting you.
yes, you too.
I am inviting you to pull out your device or a mirror. Put that device in selfie mode. Put that device in selfie mode. Get your mirrors out. And I don't want you to look down at yourself. I want you to put it up this way. And stare at yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Take the filter off.
Fearfully and wonderfully. Fearfully and wonderfully made.
And I just want you to take that. Since we don't stop long enough to do it, we only look at ourselves when we are trying to correct an imperfection.
I am who I am.
Just stare. Just stare. And as you stare, I want you to try really hard to find that 5-year-old little girl, that 5-year-old boy. Some of you are laughing. Look for her and look for him, because guess what? He's still there.
What's up, man?
She is still there.
Nice to see you again, man.
And I'm seeing some of you can't even look at yourselves. Look at yourself. Find the pain. Keep looking. Put your devices down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. "12 healing ideas as we close. In order to heal, you have to abandon the need to know the reasons for why things happened. Number 2, in order to build this resilience and this toughness that we're talking about today, you have to do something you hate that's healthy every day. You have to do something you hate that's healthy every day. So when those non-preferred outcomes in life come, you don't crumble. because you have conditioned yourself to handle the hate. Number 3, make and keep promises that you make to yourself. Open your eyes. Some of you will drive all the way across town to meet a commitment that you've made to someone else, but you won't wake up an hour early to exercise and eat right.
Mercy.
When you make promises to yourself and you do not keep them, you train your brain to not trust your capacity. And you wonder why you have and carry self-doubt. Number 4, oftentimes our mistakes are more influential in shifting the trajectory of our lives compared with our wins. Your mistakes. Because you made a mistake, does it make you a mistake? Start to separate yourself from the behavior. That was a choice you made. It was a behavior you displayed. It's not who you are. Number 5, embrace the power of I am. How many of you have a Google Nest at home? You say, hey Google, turn on kitchen lights, and what happens? Alexa, set my alarm clock for Siri. Hey Siri. Now if I went into my living room and said, turn the lights on, nothing would happen, right? I have to say what first?
I'm having some trouble with your account.
I promise you that wasn't planned. That was hot. It heard my voice and it was responsive to my voice. I can't go into your home and say, hey Google, turn the lights on. But when you say it, the receptors open up and that Google Nest is ready to do and command what it is you say. And in your life, there are 2 words that do the same. And those 2 words is I am. When you say I am, the receptors in your brain open up and they are ready to do whatever it is you say. I am enough. I am an answer to a world problem. I am an amazing mother. I am a leader. I am a king. I am a queen. I am. Embrace the power of I am. What are your I am statements? Your survival statements that are going to keep you going in 2024. When you declare I am, you create a neurological pathway. You command your brain to do whatever it is it needs to do to get that done.
That's good.
And some of you will self-sabotage because it's not familiar. Because you're not familiar with being a millionaire. You're not familiar with just writing big checks. And understand, we don't spend money. We deposit money into a system that creates 1,000-fold return or whatever we put into it. I am. Vitamins and medicine are not what you take. It's not only oral and via injection. It's the things that you love to do. They are medicinal. When is the last time you've done the things that you love? It should be on your calendar. It should be something you do weekly, at least monthly. I love roller skating. When's the last time you roller skating? I love the beach. When's the last time you went to the beach? I love to sew. Those things are medicinal. Number 7, see your challenges like a Monopoly game. How many of you are into real estate? Right? You go into a house, Queen Tanya, and you're like, ooh, we could do a lot of great things in this house. I could go in, buy it, flip it, sell it. Next thing you know, you own the whole block. Our challenges is an opportunity for us to take dominion. Because the moment you have a breakthrough in a certain area, you now have dominion in that area. See, if I overcame migraines, I can pray for you and say, migraines be gone. If you survived a divorce, you now have dominion in that. And you could have a room full of women, 2,000, so you can teach them how to overcome divorce. As soon as you overcome a challenge, you have dominion in that same category. See your challenges as an opportunity to buy more real estate in your emotional real estate. And next, it's important to track the things that you have to change. If it's anger, you need to know that you have about 50 average anger outbursts in a week. You have to know that about 80% of your time you are engaging in porn. You need to know that that's how much time you're spending in it. Because that awareness is key, because change cannot happen outside of a state of awareness. You need to know how much you drink. It's normal for you, but it may not be so normal when you see it on a piece of paper. You cannot manage what you do not measure.
That's good.
Yes.
Set healthy boundaries. I'm closing, I promise. They're about to fire me, y'all.
It's your event.
Set healthy boundaries. Some people say, well, I have boundaries. I have non-negotiables. Well, you're in therapy because he cheated on you. So maybe that's not a non-negotiable because you're working it out. Is it really a non-negotiable for you?
Right.
Because that's what boundaries are. Boundaries are established, and then they are communicated, and then they are enforced. So if you have boundaries that you haven't communicated, then they're not boundaries. You need to let your mom know, you cannot say that to me anymore. Your mother.
Wow.
Dad, you don't get to say that to me anymore. Husband, you don't get to talk to me that way anymore. What are your boundaries? Communicate them and enforce them. If you tell this world, I don't want business calls before 10, when someone tries to do that, hold them accountable, call them out. It's healthy. We are talking about healing. At my lowest point, I went to lunch with Dr. Lorraine Joseph, who's doing the self-love room, and she said to me, I poured out crying for an hour, and she said to me, Schellie, things get better. Now, when you broke, and you have $6 in your account with a dash in the front, you know what I'm talking about, Etana. Hoping the deposit comes before the check clears. That's the last thing you want to hear. But it's true. Tell yourself that in your challenges. Things get better. Things get better. The only way that they won't get better is if you don't allow them to. Watch your story. The other day, a loved one said to me, I've lost so much weight as a result of stress. I said, really? What's going on? Well, I have this medical condition and I've been stressed. I said, okay, why? She said, well, I just told you I have this medical issue that I'm getting over. And I said, okay, but why? We have these stories. If someone dies, I should be sad. If I got a negative doctor's report, I should be sad. If someone betrayed me, I should be angry. That's called polarized thinking. I can be betrayed, cheated on, and I can still live a life with joy and happiness. And the last, we cannot fight battles that are intended or launched in the spirit realm in your emotional realm.
That's good.
It just can't happen. Some of you, the enemy knows more about you than you do yourself. And so, in your healing process, it's important for you to know who you are, what you carry, and why you carry it. Who you are, what you carry, and why you carry it. You don't have to do this alone. There is help for you. For some of you, if you did all this, you would still experience emotional suffering because what you are dealing with may be genetic, a hormonal imbalance. We can go on and on. I can't diagnose that. But it's okay to not do it alone. There are all different types of therapies. In addition to talk therapy, there's acupuncture. acupuncture, there's meditation. We can go on and on. But I want to partner with you. Where's Amanda? Do you see Amanda? Amanda, stand up. My beautiful Egyptian friend and assistant. If you know you need that support, I just want you to walk over to her, give her your name and your email address. We will help you find the help. We will support you and hold you accountable along your way. But don't leave here without ensuring that you have the support network that you need to get well. I'm going to say, when I say, you're going to say, I am healing, okay? Say, I am healing. Say, I am healing. I know the miscarriage was not your fault, but you still have the responsibility to heal. Say, I am healing. I know when he or she cheated on you, you thought it was your fault. You literally had all the reasons, and while you may have contributed to the issues in your marriage, it was not your fault that he or she cheated. Say, I am healing. The rape was not your fault, but it's still your responsibility to get healed. Say, I am healing. The molestation was not your fault. You can still heal and you can still be all that God called you to be. Say, I am healing. The betrayal, the medical diagnosis, life not being what you thought it was, it's okay. This is not the end of your story. The great thing about healing is that you have the power to decide how your story ends. Say, I am healing. Because you said it, it is so. This year will be different. You will do it this time. You are encouraged to use everything that you learn and hear during this conference to contribute to your deliverance. You will break chains this year, one lock at a time, and all you have to do is say yes to yourself. Give yourself the greatest gift that only you can give, and that is your decision to heal. Thank you.